and welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, here with your readings for November the 11th through November the 17th. If you're new, welcome. I really hope you enjoy these readings and that you'll come back. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your loyalty and your support. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, and for all the new subscribers too. Now, these are general readings, guys. They are for the collective. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. They come in 3 sections. The intro, which is this, the astrological report, and then the tarot reading. And there are timestamps below in the show more section. If you have a phone, it's a little arrow pointing down, click on that and all the information is in there. It's also for your sun, moon and rising, so you will find the links to the other videos in that section too. So listen, as I said before, it's for the collective, these readings. So if you would like a more tailored, in-depth, personalized reading, please click on this link here, which will take you to my website and you can look at the kind of readings that I offer. What else? Yes, I have a Facebook group, guys, and that Facebook group, it's a private group. You have to ask to be to get in, to be included, and that link is below too. Now, in that Facebook group, it's a really positive environment. People post positive things, and then every 2 weeks I do a live feed specifically for my Facebook group, and in that it correlates every 2 weeks. It correlates with the new moon and the full moon, and we look at how anybody who attends the live feed, we look at their horoscope and how they're receiving the energies from the new moon or the full moon respectively. And I also have tarot cards on hand and I answer questions. We hang out for about an hour and we really enjoy ourselves. So if you would like that, this link to that will be below also, so check that out. And another way to support this channel and my creative content is through Patreon. So you can click on that just to check out my Patreon page. I do post things on Patreon that I don't post anywhere else. And I want to take this opportunity to really thank my patrons. Thank you so much. You really help me out. So I really appreciate you. Now, what else? Yes, let's go to the astrology report, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology section of your reading for November the 11th through November the 17th. And wow, that's all I can say. Listen, the full moon in Taurus on Tuesday is only the tip of the iceberg. We have all this dynamic celestial sky this week. Some really wonderful aspects are happening this week. Now, I'll start with some of the exact aspects and when they're happening, and then I'll go on to what's going on with the full moon. So Monday, November the 11th, the sun is conjunct Mercury. That means it's right next to Mercury, right? Very close. Tuesday, we have the full moon in Taurus, and we have Mars sextile Jupiter. That's a beautiful harmonious aspect going on there. Wednesday the 13th, we have Mercury trine Neptune. That's also a lovely harmonious connection between the two planets. And Thursday, November the 14th, Venus is square Neptune. That is a challenging aspect. We also have other energies and aspects that are moving into place or moving out of place. So they all play a role actually in the celestial sky. So let's start with the full moon in Taurus, shall we? The full moon, as most of you know, is when the moon is opposite the sun, and it's actually the sun's reflection that illuminates the moon. So with the moon in Taurus, and that means with the moon in Taurus, the sun is in Scorpio because they're opposite each other on the wheel, right, in the chart. The moon is exalted in Taurus, which means that it can express itself fully. So the moon is nurturing, magnetic, feminine. And in Taurus, the moon is good-natured, generous, and loyal. There's a tendency for being emotionally connected to one's values and material possessions, and a strong need for security, right? Material security. At the same time as this full moon, the moon is in a harmonious aspect to Pluto. Now, this creates an energy of sensitivity and intense emotional feelings. It's a being absorbed with interpersonal relationships, of being coveted over one's emotions and feelings. We want to kind of hide that. We don't want that out in the open. At the same time, I am displaying the chart of the full moon, so maybe you can follow along with some of the things that I'm saying, and you can get a picture of what's going on too. For those of you who understand charts. Now, so it brings in intuition and psychic ability. The moon's relationship with Pluto, and it can give you a strong look. It's being able to read people and recognize inauthenticity. We can see through people. We know when someone's not being authentic. And it can give you a strong will and focus to accomplish goals with which to manifest your dreams. This is like a dream creating full moon, right? We can create our dreams. We can manifest our dreams. We can make them real. It can also bring up control issues. So we need to be mindful of the urge to control situations and or people. It can be expressed through us being a bit bossy, perhaps, during this transit. It is also worth mentioning that the moon at the same time is kind of in a loose, harmonious aspect with Neptune, which further enhances our psychic and intuitive abilities. It can also give us a really deep appreciation for music, art, and nature. We also need to be mindful not to sacrifice ourselves for others, and keep a firm grip on reality, because Neptune can skew our perceptions of what's really going on. However, Saturn is connecting harmoniously to Neptune and to the moon, so there is some structure and discipline to bring ideas into tangible creations. So we just want to make sure that we're not compromising ourselves for others. And if we focus on our creativity, we can really bring things to life. Now, the sun in Scorpio is right next to Mercury, which brings in creative thinking and energetic communication with a bigger picture view. So because Mercury is still in retrograde, there can be some misunderstandings, but they can easily be rectified because of all these positive, wonderful aspects that are going on. Now, the Sun and Mercury have also have a harmonious connection to Pluto and Saturn, somewhat to a bit lesser of a degree, which brings in the need to be recognized for one's accomplishments, for being in the spotlight. And the concentration is on speech and communications, yet again. So this sets the stage for shrewdness in business and negotiations. Now, that's a wonderful aspect. And then listen, that's not all. The Sun and Mercury are also harmoniously connected to Neptune, bringing in creative and visionary talents. So it's amazing for literary accomplishments, particularly writing, fantasy, poetry, or even in the visual arts. Any creative project will, take off and will really work. So now also, I'm finished yet, guys. Mars is sextile Jupiter. Now, this is a wonderful, confident energy, abundant energy. It's like we're energized, right? Feeling really excited and confident about ourselves and, really good luck in materialism with a penchant for higher learning or spiritual studies in alignment, perhaps. And long distance travel is also on the table with this aspect. Perhaps you're going on a long trip or you're planning one. You may be contemplating a spiritual retreat even in a remote location. So an optimistic nature with a love of freedom and independence is the underlying beautiful energy of that aspect. Now, then on Thursday, we move into Venus square Neptune, but all these aspects are kind of happening all week simultaneously, right? So it's kind of a big mishmash. You have to kind of choose you have the power to choose your energy and how you want to direct it. Now, Venus is square Neptune, and that's a challenging aspect. It brings in issues of self-esteem, confidence, and insecurities. So if you have a poor self-image during this transit, you may have a distorted view of your partner or your date if it's a new, or, your acquaintance if it's a new relationship. You may see relationships in an odd way. Perhaps you have an idealistic romantic storybook vision of relationships, which can lead you to ignore red flags when you meet someone new. You could get taken advantage of, become a doormat in a relationship. If the relationship is rocky already, if it's on firm ground, I think you'll be able to move through this aspect pretty unscathed. But if it's new and it's a bit rocky, then, you could kind of, become the doormat, or worse, allow inappropriate behavior in some way. It's important to practice acceptance and the love of oneself during this time, and I would look at this aspect also creates a heightened need for love and affection. So I would resist the urge to commit or to trust someone until after this transit. Focus instead on building self-esteem and self-respect and confidence. All right, guys. So I told you that's like major this week, right? So without further ado, let's go to your tarot reading, shall we? Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to the tarot card section of your reading for November the 11th through the 17th. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Sagittarius for this coming week? May these cards be filled with love, abundance, and hope. 3 cards for Sagittarius, please. 3 cards for Sagittarius. 3 cards. Oh, that was 10. No, too many. 3 cards. Oh, how many is that? There's 2 cards. Lovely. I love that. And 1 more card there we go. Ah, very interesting. And then we have the clarifying cards for Sagittarius. Oh, my nose is going 10 to the dozen. Spirit is here, darling. Sagittarius, what wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Sagittarius through these clarifying cards? Filled with love, hope, and abundance. Please clarify That's 1. Please clarify. 2. And please clarify. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Oh. Ooh. Okay, there's definitely crossover here, so check out your sun, moon and rising. All the links are below. If they're not there right now, give them a minute. When I get everything up, they will be there. The first card out is the 8 of Swords, clarified by the 4 of Cups. Then you have the Emperor, clarified by the Page of Cups. And then you have the 2 of Swords, clarified by the Knight of Cups. Alrighty then, let's go. Sagittarius. Okay, the first card out, oh my god, my nose, is the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords tells me that you are feeling trapped in some way. Perhaps you're not seeing your way out of a situation. It's the intellect, right? So it's the refusal or the inability to see the truth in the situation, because she's not really trapped. There's gaps in the... She could take the blindfold off. She could just walk away. But she doesn't see that. She's kind of, she's blindfolded. She just believes she's in... It's a self-imposed prison is what this is. This is a prison of your mind. Now, clarifying it is the 4 of Cups, and the 4 of Cups is, this is probably what's keeping you stuck. It's like you're in your head and you're disappointed about how things have turned out, and you're crossed, and you've got your arms crossed, and you just can't see the gift that's being given to you. This has been so mired in the problem that you really don't see the solution, right? You have created this self-imposed prison in your head, and you're not seeing a way out. You can't see the way out because you're blind. So this is saying, take the blindfold off, look at the situation. Don't be distracted by the problem. It's like, start thinking about how you can get out of this situation. There is always a choice. There's always a way out. I always say, listen, even Thelma and Louise made a choice, right? They could have been arrested and gone to jail, but instead they drove off a cliff. I am not under any stretch of the imagination suggesting that you jump off a cliff, but I am saying, hey, it was a choice. There's always a choice is what I'm saying. Even if it may not be a great choice, there's a choice there. This really signifies missed opportunities because you are imprisoned in your head. So you need to get out of your head. And look, you have the Emperor here. He's the King of Kings. And he's the kind, look, this can mean like a litigation coming down in your favor. It can be. Because he's also kind of a judge or a lawyer or somebody, like that. He's very kind of rational and logical and, doesn't think with emotions. He's very kind of fair and, he doesn't make decisions from an emotional standpoint, but he's also about clearing the decks. He's about clearing out and getting rid of things that no longer work for you. It's like clearing your closets, or clearing your workspace, or your car, or at home, or whatever it is. It's like, and it's also sorting out all your paperwork and it can be taxes too. This is really important to get all this stuff done. Cross your T's, dot your I's, because things are going to move forward for you, but you need to kind of sort everything out, It's also clearing the decks of people that no longer work for you or no longer are of value in your life anymore. And I don't mean to say that in a superficial way, like you don't want somebody because they're not any good fit. Maybe somebody is dragging you down, it's negative and a negative influence on you. Whatever it is, something, somebody's always tripping you up, or doesn't have your best interest at heart, and you've been a very good friend. So it's about clearing the decks, people, places, and things. clarifying it is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is like the gift of intuition. So you're going to kind of go on your gut feeling, psychic ability. You're going to know what you need to get rid of. Also, this can be a gift of love. And you are being asked to be a little more rational, a little more logical in this person if you've met someone new. It's not about falling deeply, madly in love, if it is a new love interest for you. So keep that in mind. This is, Venus square Neptune, right? So be careful about falling head over heels in love with someone before you really know them, before you get the full picture. So it's about holding back. It's about, being rational. It's about being logical. It's about, seeing things with a dispassionate eye, if you will, a logical mind. Don't be so quick to jump in the deep end is what I'm saying. And here you have the Two of Swords, and this is a decision. And you're not making a decision, and in doing so, you're kind of causing confusion. So you clarifying it is the Knight of Cups. This is the gift of love, darling. This is the knight in shining armor coming in. The thing is about knights, they may not stay very long, right? They may, but they may not. They're in and out. They're quick energy. They come in, they leave, because they're busy. They're in service to the king. They've got to protect and serve, right? So this knight is bringing a gift of love. I really feel that. And you have a decision to make. Are you going to allow your emotions to take a hold of you, Sagittarius, or are you going to kind of move forward a little more rationally? Take your time. But it's I feel that you have to kind of make a decision here. And normally I would say, and maybe this is somebody that's already been in your life for a while. This can be a friend too, or a family member that you really are, that you really do love. And there is a decision here that you have to make. Are you going to move forward? I feel that there's something on the table that you've got to make a decision about. And it's not necessarily about love, but love has something to do with it. Definitely. Perhaps somebody's asked you to marry them or something, and you are not making, or maybe somebody wants to take this on to the next level and wants you to commit. It could be that. And yes, that is it. My nose is going nuts. Yes. So you should make a decision one way or another. I don't like to use the word should. I would, if I were you, make a decision one way or another, or, say to them, look, I'm leaning towards this. Just give me a minute till at least Neptune, Venus square Neptune, that transit is over before you make a total commitment, right? But don't keep somebody on the hook if you have no intention. Really look at how you feel about that. Is this somebody that, you're just, I don't want to say just hooking up with for the, not to be lonely. I would say put some real effort into this decision, really. And I think get some counsel on it, because that's what this is about, the Emperor. Get some professional advice before you make a commitment. And if this is a marriage, you must have a prenuptial agreement. That's really important. You've got to sort out a prenup, definitely. This also could mean a divorce for some of you, Sagittarius. This could be a divorce coming in. You could be divorcing yourself of a job, a person, or a situation, or a place. And this is litigation coming down. So definitely there is something This could be a decision of whether to make a divorce or a commitment. There's two sides to this. This is a general reading. Listen, I would say that if you do have this looming decision, get a reading. It doesn't have to be with me. It can be with someone else. But definitely this is a perfect time for you to get a personalized, tailored reading and get the answers that you're seeking. Sagittarius, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, social media. I'm almost at 10K, guys. Help me get over that ledge. And comment. That also helps me get seen. And I always respond. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.